We as a company had started in the year 1965 with a small format selling of radios, small appliances. As we started our journey, yes, we started understanding the customer better and we started providing him large format stores. Till the year 1995, we had 3 large format stores. 1995, we decided that we will take on larger plans, get professionalized, and set up a corporate setup to manage the expansion. During the course of the expansion, yes, we opened our new stores as well as we had the opportunity of acquisition. Today, I do not know how many retailers are wearing 2 caps, but today, in this journey, when our acquisition began, Viveks Limited started riding or wearing of 2 caps. One is the large format stores handling on one side and the small format stores handling on the other side with the acquisition. The acquisition was Johnson's in the year 1999. Okay. Now today, as on date, we have about 47 stores. We are present in 18 cities and towns of Tamil Nadu and 1 city of Karnataka. Yes, we have almost about 1,500 employees working. I will just share with you all some of the good things and some of the challenges that we are going through it when we are handling these 2 kind of formats, both large as well as small formats. In a large format, we started providing to the consumer the range, the experience, the choice, the service, and we started almost giving it to him like a solution provider. See, particularly in a durable retail outlet, the service or our work begins only after the cash is paid by the customer at the cash counter. If you go into a supermarket or a textile showroom or a departmental store, what happens is that you pick up what you wanted, you pay it and you walk out, and there are chances that you may not turn out for the next couple of months' time. But here, what happens is that, yes, we have to arrange a delivery to his premises. We have to install the product in his premises. We have to demonstrate the product in his premises. And during the lifetime of the cycle of the durable basic clean factor, we have to offer him after-sales service. Okay, which no other vertical basic clean factor has got this kind of work after the sale. Yes, it is only before the sale they have to be efficient and they have to provide availability to the customer and they have to have the consumer experience. But in our case, work begins after that. Okay, this is what that we have provided through our Viveks outlet as a solution company to the customer and experience to the customer. Whereas through an acquisition of ours, the Johnson's, this store basically in factor is a small format store where the choice is less. We try to understand a certain segment of the customer, what he wants it. We try to arrange those products, those models, and those merchandise mix which is required for that segment of the customer, and we provide it. Now in this journey, whether large format wins or small format wins, we have heard from Shiv also the way that the industry is moving, the organized retail is moving from almost from 2% today basically, in fact it's almost about nearly 12%. And certainly that organized retail will further move to about 12% and it's on the moving edge. See today, if you look at what happened in the last 15 years when this organized retailing was going through a tremendous change basically in fact in our industry. One side, the rural customer was not ready to buy a refrigerator or a washing machine even till last 10 years back. But today basically that rural customer started what is called as in fact addressing a refrigerator or a washing machine to buy in his house. Now the urban customer, what happened to him here? The urban customer basically in fact he started upgrading his products, whatever that he had, because probably 20 years, 30 years back he would have bought a direct cool refrigerator or a semi-automatic washing machine, which he wants to upgrade now today to a frost-free refrigerator or a front-load washing machine. That means in the urban customer, large format stores were required, range was required, choice was required. For example, I'll give it to you. 25 years back, there was only 5 models and 2 capacities of refrigerator. Today there are about 40 capacities of refrigerators with 500 model variants. You just see the choice the consumer has got and the retailer, how he has to accommodate this 500 numbers in a store. Is it possible to accommodate a 500 numbers? Yes, we try to accommodate around 100 numbers, but still we give the choice to the customer in terms of 500 numbers, because through all warehousing basically the colors, the sizes, the choices that we maintain over there, and we try to deliver it there. Now, in an environment of this kind of nature, was a small format store successful in a city like Chennai? Yes, it was not. Yes, the small store basically in fact in this journey in the last 10-15 years time across there, we had some few stores of Jain Sons which were there across there in fact. We were not able to, what is called the small stores were not able to cope up with the requirement of the changes that was happening in the industry and this as such. So what we did across there was like this. In a city like Chennai, we finally devised basically in fact let us go with one single brand of large format store, and we started what is called as expanding in the large format of Viveks. But in a rural customer across there in fact are easy ready for the large format. Yes, probably middle-sized towns are ready, but not what is called as the smaller towns. For example, we are in a places like even Sivakasi, Theni and all those particular places. We opened 2 months back basically in fact as such over there a new store, which we could see the response was tremendous. The response was tremendous in that particular outlet when we inaugurated as such. The response was much more than to a new store inauguration in a store like, in a city like Chennai or Coimbatore. Okay, this is the kind of response basically the rural customers were there. But what was the kind of customer he was? Was he with a credit card? No. Yes, he was probably walking with a lungi, with a chappals, wearing, and he was loaded with cash, either in a bag or in his pocket inside the lungi. Okay, this was the kind of the customer basically in fact that we were experiencing in those particular parts. That means to understand that rural customer, to understand his needs, his fulfillment, his requirement. Now to this rural customer, can I provide a frost-free refrigerator, a tumble washing machine? Yes. Now in rural basically, as we all know, that during the summer months, almost for about 8 to 12 hours there was no power cut. There was no power. It was totally, there was a power cut across there in those particular places and there was no power. A frost-free refrigerator will not completely serve the purpose basically in fact there. At least a DC refrigerator they used to call, okay, when the power fails, this refrigerator will work like a ice dabba. Okay. They used to call this refrigerator will work like an ice dabba. But at the same time, what was happening in Chennai? Even the ordinary customer, I would like to share with you all 2 instances basically in fact which happened probably in our own organization and the family as such. Right. One of the drivers basically in fact came to my operational head and said 2 years back, I wanted to buy a DVD. I want some concession. Fine, he said that take this DVD, I'll get concession. And he suggested some brand which he thought that he can take it across there because of the cost affordability. But the driver came back and said, sir, I don't need this brand, I need a Sony brand. Okay, he was asking the topmost brand, the topmost model for his house. You just look at it basically in factor, this customer basically in factor, how he has evolved basically. That means my store has to get ready for even addressing a consumer of a lower middle class but whose aspirations are quite high. Okay, how fast that he has changed. And the other incident basically in factor as such, yes, there was a housemaid assistant who was working in the kitchen in one of my cousin's house, and there she was grinding across there in factor as such with the ultra grind. Okay, there, after a couple of months she came back and said, "Sir, I need this ultra grinder for my house. In fact, this one, can you just get me on credit basis? Why do you want to go for such a high quality ultra grind?" She said that I have an old grinder at home, but that started giving repairs. It is a local grinder, it is repair, but I'm using this grinder from last couple of months. It's very easy to handle, very easy to do it, so I wanted to buy that grinder. You just look at it, that lower middle class customer also in fact how their aspirations level are increasing and aspiring basically in fact to see that in fact they have lifestyle, their better quality products and all those things that which we do it. So today we have a mix of what is called as in fact handling the experience of large format stores as well as what is called as in fact the traditional format stores. For both, what I could see that in fact across there, yes, there is a scope for both to survive on one side. Second, in both the models basically in fact efficiency makes a very, very high degree of point across for the operations. And third, what we believe is in this, if retail has to sustain, in fact across there, two things are very, very important in retail. One is customer satisfaction, and third, how that retail venture can look at it year on year profitability.